Alrighty, you psycho-fanatic jewelry outlaws out there. We are back here again at Boom Jewelry Designs for another Boom Jewelry adventure. Friends, you definitely want to stick around to the end on this one. Now, as you guys know, I have been playing with ingots, pouring my own silver, and it's scary, but it's fun. And it really gives you an opportunity to work with thicker silver, guys. Sheet silver 18 gauge is pretty common. You can get thicker, but if you really want to get to that 8 gauge or some of that thicker stuff, man, you got to pour your own ingots, guys. And I have had so much fun experimenting with pouring ingots. I am not very good at it yet, and I'm working on getting better, but I am able to pour some stuff, guys. So on this jewelry adventure, we're going to use a piece of poured silver ingot. I beat it with the hammer, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that. It's kind of boring. It takes a while. A lot of annealing and hitting with the hammer. A lot of annealing and hitting with the hammer. I use this big, super duper huge Salvation or yard sale hammer that I bought, which I'm pretty proud of. So proud, in fact, I kept the sticker on it because, you know me, when you're cheap, friends, you got to do what you got to do to survive out here in these mean streets. But we're going to do a ring shank with some deep stamping. We're going to do a bezel that is going to be made not from fine silver, not going to be made from this stuff. It's going to be sterling silver sheet. And I'm going to do 20 gauge sheet. So you guys want to stick around for that, because I'm going to do a castellated bezel a different way, a new way. And what I'm going to do is shape the bezel, mark where you know how when you do a square stone, it's really difficult to know exactly where that bezel's going to go around that corner. And you don't want a castellation right in the middle of that corner, or else the castellation's going to want to fold over in on itself. So you want to be able to avoid that. And some of us aren't very good at math, so we can't calculate where the corners are going to be, and then the corners are going to be perfect because typically we castellate on while it's flat. So we'll do the castellations while it's flat, and then we bend it around the stone and hope for the best. But the way that I'm doing it in this tutorial, in this video process jewelry adventure, is we're going to do the bezel around the stone, and then we're going to mark with a marker where exactly those castellations want to be. So our corners are what we want for our corners, and all 4 corners are going to be the same. So we're going thick silver, some deep stamping, a new style of castellated bezel, a ring. So we're going to do a split shank ring with that thick ingot that we poured. And so guys, you guys are in the right place if you guys are here for a little bit of a heart attack, maybe some highs and lows in this process. I hope you guys enjoy the videos, guys. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, friends. I have like 910 subscribers right now, guys. I'm 90 away from 1,000, and that's like a pretty big benchmark. Shout out to Chad Silversmith. Shout out to Melanie Klein. Shout out to Lucy Walker. Shout out to some of the videos that I've been watching and that have pushed me along on my jewelry adventure journey and my art journey. Guys, watch YouTube's. They're good. They're good for you. Somebody has something that you need. And even if it's something you already know, watch the video anyways, because you may pick up a tip. You just never know what small tip you may pick up, like getting these Sharpies that have like this fine tip. You don't have to worry about the cap. Remember back in the old days whenever we used to go like this and we used to go, oh, where's that dang cap? Whoa. Or you put it down and then it dries out and then your life just becomes miserable. Guys, we're learning all the time, and we learn from each other. So I'm Benny, and you're on a jewelry adventure with me. We're going to go from start to finish. I'm going to move along very fast. You can always rewind and watch any part again, but I'm going to try to move fast, guys. I don't want you guys to be bored. I want you guys to learn and be excited. And, well, I hope that this is a place that you can do that and be brave and be free and it's okay if we make mistakes, because with jewelry, the really cool thing about jewelry is no matter what kind of mistake you make, you can almost always figure out a way to overcome that mistake and maybe even enhance your design. So I'm going to get a piece of ingot. I'm going to bring you guys to that place right now. And thanks for joining for the ride. Let's get to the party. Alrighty, Juanitosville, this is the ingot that I poured myself. I smashed it with the hammer a bunch of times until it got like this. And I'm guessing this is probably around like 8 gauge, thicker than anything I've really ever used before. Alright, Juanitosville, we sawed these out, and that was pretty thick, guys. Look at that. If I do a shank in this style, where it doesn't go all the way to the middle, I know that if a size 7 is about 50, needs to be about 50 millimeters. So 253. For the first time, let's stamp. Maybe I'll clean it up first, then I'm going to stamp the boom in this, and I'm probably going to have to hit it pretty hard. But I want to do some really cool texture, because with this thick of silver, you can do thick texture. And how fun is that going to be? Stick around. We got something cool about to happen. Let's do some texture on this bad boy. All right, Juanitosville, we're gonna nail this, because after putting those big heavy stamps in, it's pretty work hardened. Okay, that's very nicely annealed, friends. Let's quench it. Oh, buddy, put it in there, hold it in there good, because when it's dense metal. All right, friends, so I'm gonna shape this a little bit more and then make sure everything's just like I like it. But I just had to do the stamping, man. We just had to do the stamping. I don't think it's going to affect it, so let's just keep working. I've been working on the railroad. Because this is so thick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add texture to the sides. I've never seen that before, but let's do it because we're nuts. Okay, guys, I'm going to texture. I'm just going to put it in my vise and see where the lines match up, and I'm going to put a line right there so it looks like it goes all the way through. That's just what my instincts say to do, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll bring it back when I get done doing that. Is that dumb or is that cool? What do you guys think? Well, we're going to keep working. We're going to assume it's cool. All right, friends, so I was looking at this, and I'm thinking, guys, I don't know. I'm just trying to use my creative instincts, and I think I'm going to do some stamping on the underside, too. But instead of doing it with that big heavy stamp that I did on the last one, I think what I'm going to do is break out my old thing of tape. And what I'd like to do, I think, is just do some like... I don't know. I'm going to use this guy. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, guys. We're just gonna just crisscross it. Okay, I don't know. Let's see, are you guys with me? Oh man. Hope it doesn't make it look all super loser status. Hopefully it makes it look cool status. But we're just having fun, guys. This is a jewelry adventure. This is gonna be epic no matter what it becomes. New charter territory. This is just, we're just getting excited, friends. We're getting excited, man. We're gonna elevate our game. We're gonna start pouring ingots. We're gonna start doing thick silver. We're gonna start doing some official silversmith work, guys. We are, instead of being jewelry designers only, we're becoming silversmiths, guys. Wow, that is just, to me, that's amazing, guys. Maybe it's just my take so far, but I didn't even look at the bottom. Dude, that's so cool. I think I'm gonna anneal this again because this is pretty thick and it's been beat on a little bit. So let's anneal and then maybe we'll start thinking about bending. All right, guys. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna split this shank, and I'm just gonna do a split shank, ring shank, a split ring shank, like on this video that I did right here. I showed how I did that, but I did that with sheet. I'm doing this with ingot, and this is going to be probably a little bit more challenging, but dude, it's going to be so BA when it's done. Okay, I'm going to have to measure each one of these splits to make sure that they're equal. Keep working. Right, we're gonna get ready to bend this bad boy. I have my mandrel and I'm going to bend this. I got kind of a uniformish kind of look on it, but I'm excited and we're gonna move forward. So let's use our mallet so that we don't destroy. Very, very strong silver, this thick. This is strong stuff, guys. So much different than sheet. I don't know if I should anneal this again. That is a heavy ring, heavy duty. I annealed it, and then I used my mandrel to get it straight. And if you know how to use your mandrel and use this curve to your advantage, you can hit it a certain way where it'll straighten itself out. And that's exactly what I did, and it kind of worked, man. I couldn't tell you how to do it. You just have to do it and see the way it moves and then start doing it again. So at this point, friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on my file, and I'm going to get this flat edge, kind of flat like that. I'm going to pull it on my file until I have a nice table that I can put my back plate onto. Back to life, back to reality. Creating a nice table there, guys. A back plate to sit right on that. And I want that table to come down. This is kind of a tip that I've kind of discovered. If you don't put a nice table on that, then your back plate kind of sits high. That's an exaggeration, but it sits high. If you want your back plate to have a low profile, you really need to have a nice flat back plate here. And not only does it give your ring setting a lower profile onto the shank, it also creates more surface area for your solder to flow, creating a stronger bond to your back plate. So that's just something that I learned along the way. And sometimes you just learn things, and that's why you're here watching this video, is to learn stuff. So that's what I've learned. I hope you guys can take that tip and make your back plates low profiler and stronger. Yes. Okay. All right, friends, I just made an error. I just realized that I forgot that I split the shank. So I split this shank, and then I stepped away and I came back and I forgot that I split the shank, and I was acting like it wasn't split. So now I'm going to have to split it, and I've already done this table, so I'm going to have to redo the table, which is okay because right now it's about a size 8 and I want for it to be a size 7. So maybe that was meant to be. So I don't know how to split this shank with how big this is, because it's already bent. Usually I split the shank when it's flat still. So I'm going to pull this one of these up. I'm going to pull this opposite one up. I'm sure this is not going to be very clean looking in the end, but I'm going to pull this up And then I'm going to pull it out like this, and then angle it. Do the same thing on this side, angle it out. Use my thumb right here and just pull it towards me. And see, I already got that. Now I'll take this bottom one, pull that out. Now that's pretty hairy looking right now, guys, but at least I have them separated. I don't know if I should flatten this out and then... Guys, I don't know what to do, man. Okay. Think, Benny, think. What are the spirits telling us right now? They're laughing. I know that. This is gonna work. Okay, all right, all right. Guys, we did it. It's gonna be a split shank. We're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna work on this a little bit. Well, guys, if we're here, then we can get where we want to be. All right, friends. After some work, guys, I think we're back in the ball game. It's still about a size 8, but it's getting to a place where I'm feeling pretty good about it. Look how cool that looks on the sides. Blam. So I'm going to keep making this tabletop right here, getting that low profile that we talked about earlier. And we already have kind of a nice looking profile right here, but we're going to go a little bit more and really try to make it so that the bottom of this is nice and flush with the back plate as much as possible. Because that's kind of another high level thing that you really want to do if you want to make high level, if you want to go to the high level, which I don't do that much because I didn't think about it until just recently. But if I can make that touch under there the slope almost blend right into the back plate, that would be super high level in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it a shot, guys. I'm here, might as well do it. All right, you outlaws, look at that, guys. I have a nice profile face here. I hope you guys can catch that in the camera. Look how skinny that is right there, and that is gonna hit nicely on my back plate. You can see that profile is really low. Oh man, this is so cool. All right, friends, if you guys have seen me in my other videos do the no math way of determining the bezel length, I'm going to use 20 gauge sterling silver bezel for turquoise in there. Look at that matrix. It's like the host stone of blackness. I'm not sure what mineral that is that makes it black, but that is just a killer piece of turquoise. So what we're going to do is, what I do, guys, is I just start on one corner. I make note of where I'm starting, and then I just I put it sandpaper so that it doesn't slide around on me. Then I bring it back to where I began, and it looks like that's where it's at. So this line here, and then right there, that's where the length of the stone is. This was my first attempt, and then I added 3, and I thought, let's double check. And then it turns out that after 2 or 3 more times, I just take the average, and it keeps consistently coming back to this point right here. So I'm going to add 3 millimeters. 1, 2, 3, 3 millimeters. That's the one. I'm going to make it just a little longer, just so I know that's the one I'm looking at. Better more than not enough material, friends. And if you guys know how I do this, you guys probably have seen my other videos in the past, but what I do is I basically just get my dividers. I put it next to the stone about as high as I think I want it. So I'm going to go with it, guys. Let's just do it. This is kind of an experimental. I'm going to go 1 more millimeter bigger just to make sure we're safe. I'm going to cut that. Okay, friends, I just have to share this with you guys. I am going to bend this 20 gauge because the corners are not perfectly 90 degrees. I'm using my round pliers, and then I made a little mark right here, guys. And then that should be pretty dang close to what I'm looking for. Then, well, I guess we'll figure it out, but look right there, guys. Can you guys see that? Is that looking good? I think it is. I think it is looking good. I mean, it's a challenge because there's no castellations in it yet. About like that. Do here. So it's a different way of doing this. So guys, what I'm going to do here is, this may be about 1 millimeter too long, but that's okay. I'd rather have more than not enough. But what I'm going to do is set this on the back plate, and then at the end I'm going to do my castellations. So I'll probably do little lines right here. Gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I saw on this video, this guy, he made the castellations not with the saw, but with a cutting disc, which I don't have one, but dang, that stinks. I do not have a cutting disc. Maybe I do. Maybe I just don't know it. Let me see. All right, I have this old kit that I have from a long time ago. And I do have these discs right here, guys. And I have this. I put it on there and put it on my flex shaft. And I think it should be able to cut castellations into this. Bend it first and then do the castellations. Because let me tell you guys why I'm thinking this. Is because I would like to have castellation right here and right here, but not on the corner, if that makes sense. In order to do that, I need to bend it first, because I don't know the math to say, okay, I need a castellation here, and then start on one end and work all the way, and then just hope for the best, especially on a square stone. So this is going to be another first, guys. We're going to try to do we're going to use a cutting disc to castellate our bezel, and I hope this isn't too fat, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to experiment on some pieces of silver, and we're going to try. We're going to see what's up, man. We are pushing ourselves, guys. We're growing, and it's not comfortable, but sometimes it's what you got to do. It's what you got to do, guys. Let's go. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to do, I got this bezel set. I put some flux on it. We are going to go hard solder, friends. I'm going to put the solder on the outside so that I can easily file it off. Any clumps that might be. Put it right on the seam, nice and even. Heat up both sides. Sterling, this is sterling silver bezel, 20 gauge. Feeling pretty good about that. So if you can see under there, you can see we got solder all the way through to the inside. Solder on the outside. Some cleanup will be necessary, but that's okay. We anticipated that. It's okay. That's okay. That looks a lot better. I'm going to work a little bit on the edge. Back and forth. Now I just got to remember if it's like that or if it's like this. If you can see on the bottom, guys, we have a nice fit. The top is quite long. So I'm going to probably take some time and file it down, maybe about a 0.5 millimeter. And I'm going to do right now is just do an arrow down so I know that this side goes down. Boom. So I don't get confused, because I get confused because I'm confusing. Here we go. Okay, friends, back on this jewelry adventure. Here I am. I'm thinking about marking where I would like my castellations to be. Is that dumb, guys? Am I in dreamland? I'm going to take you guys over here. You guys are going to watch me do this, and if I screw up, you guys could laugh at me. I won't get sad. All right, Juanitosville, here we are. Figure out what would be the best way to hold it. Maybe I might need my rubber block. Maybe if I put this on here, then I can kind of like bend it down a little bit like that. Guys, I'm gonna go for it. Don't laugh. So far, guys, what do you guys think? Possible? Let's do this corner. Okay, it's getting kind of hot. What do you guys, where are you guys at? What do you guys think? So beat it up a little bit on the inside. Not beat it up, but push the metal to the inside. So I'm going to clean out the inside, but look at that, guys. I got the corners like I wanted them. Let's go. Okay, friends, I brought it over here, and I have my little needle, kind of a finer needle file. And where I push that metal to the inside, I'm just kind of rubbing it out. And our stone will fit. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little break because I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit, and I want to stay focused and I want to stay sharp. But I'm going to put this on the back plate, not this, but back plate, and then eventually it's going to be like this. Alrighty, Juanitosville, we have this castellated bezel that I used a disc on my flex shaft. And so they're kind of a wider castellation than a number 3 saw blade would use when you do a typical castellation. I'm going to do a soldering little exposition right here. Okay, guys, I have it fluxed on the bottom. I have it in the middle of my block, so if I have to rotate it, then I can, which I like about these rotating blocks is when you do bezels, you really want to be able to look all around it with your heat. Have a good idea. I have my genius wire here, which I call my genius wire, but it's basically just a steel piece of wire that keeps my block from sinking too much heat from my back plate. So right here, guys, we're just going to throw some medium solder around this bezel, on the inside of the bezel. And typically I will cook the flux off before I do this, but I liked the pain of my solder chips popping all around and then me having to do it again and just, you know, annoying myself. So what I do, guys, is I just pretty much just get my solder chips to touch against the edge. These are just a little bit different kind of castellations, guys, and I didn't do the vertical stripes that go down. So it was kind of a chore to get it to shape just around the stone perfectly. So here, guys, I have all my solder chips on the inside. Because it's 20 gauge, it has a wider footprint, so it's going to need more solder to get around there. Where if you're working with 30 gauge fine silver, it has a very, very skinny footprint. 20 gauge bezel, 20 gauge back plate. I have it on the rotating block so we can really look at it as we kind of get the solder to run. A little tip here, guys, is right where the bezel touches the join, which on this place is right here, I always put a piece of solder right at the foot of the join. So if that solder wants to pull out and to make the bezel, when that solder starts to pull, I don't want for it to suck solder out of my join and to use to join the back plate to the bezel. I want so I put a little pellet of solder right at the foot of the join, so there's plenty of solder there, and when solder does not get pulled from my join. I don't know if that's a real concern, but that's kind of a practice that I use, and what times that I didn't use that practice, it did kind of pull some solder out of my join, guys. I have it on my stainless steel wire back here, or my steel wire. I don't know if it's stainless. Steel wire back here. I call it my genius wire because it lifts the piece up from the back block, which is a major heat sink. This block is very dense, so I kind of want it lifted above the block. Sometimes if I'm feeling kind of froggy, I'll go like this, give it one of these numbers. There we go. I see solder kind of doing its thing. Let's do a little light press all the way around. Okay, we're looking. Everything looks good there. Everything looks good there. Everything looks good. Yeah, buddy. We have a nice meniscus all the way around, guys. It's very hot, so just be careful. But I want to show you this. If you can see that meniscus around the bottom of the bezel. There you go. You can kind of see it right there. That's what you're looking for. The solder will just go whoosh, flow like water, guys. That's a closer look. Really looking at that bezel, you can see the line in my join. That's where the solder. It doesn't indent any. I think a light sandpaper on that join where you can see the white line where the solder is. But I did put solder right there at the foot of the join, if you guys can see, and it sealed really nicely all the way around. Oh, buddy, we did it, guys. So this is the stone that goes in it, and it goes like this. Yeah, buddy boys. All right, Roseville, I just wanted to share a quick tip with you guys. If you have the regular Sharpie that has the cap, I have these fine Sharpies that just like that for easy access. I can just go. Love it. But if you have a bezel that you want to have like a step around the bezel, you know that, I'll show a picture right here. This kind of bezel that has a step around it. A fun way to do it is just get your Sharpie and then just draw a line, kind of wedge it at the corner of your bezel. And now I have like a nice step around my bezel that I can just saw. I can saw on the outside of the black, and then I'll have a nice step there. So that's just a little tip. I'm sure you guys probably already know that, but in case you don't, then there you go. Alrighty, friends, we're gonna set this shank on this back plate. This is what we just did. Now I'm gonna try something new that I've never tried before with you guys, with you guys, is what I normally do is I put this onto the back plate and then set the solder like around the claws and then wait for the solder to kind of join. But on this one, I'm going to try for the first time ever to put solder on the pedestal little feet. Okay, after almost pulling my hair out, I got all 4 on there. I made a nice flat table by filing and sanding the prongs so they're a nice flat table. So we're just gonna focus on this side first. Okay, that one. Let's go to this side, which is a wonderful thing about having a rotating table, friends. Focusing on this far one, that one, this close one, that one. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let that kind of cool off. I want it. Looking at it left and right. I almost always put the solder chips right in this area right here, guys. And it sometimes, not sometimes, almost every time it makes like a little solder mess right there that I eventually have to try to figure out how to sand out and clean up. And so I'm looking at left and right, and I'm trying to not have that error, guys. Okay, just make sure that our shank is looking perpendicular to. All right, guys, we're gonna go for it. Get that back plate hot. That shank is pretty thick silver. I'm guessing it's probably like 8 gauge, the thickness of it. It's over 1 millimeter for sure, probably close to 2 millimeters thick. I don't see any. I want to see a flash of solder run, friends. I think it did. Let's go right here and make sure that's set down. The hard part about having it under there is you can't really see. You just kind of have to look at the metal and just use your experience and trust. So we're going to quench this. We're going to see if those feet stuck, and if they did, we might have discovered a really new, cool way to do these. Hell yeah, boys. Boys and girls, look at that. Let's examine. No solder mess around those claws. I'm going to pickle this, and then I'll bring you guys right back. Alrighty, Juanitosville, we're at this point here where we are pretty much finished with our project. But check out the bottom. You can see no solder mess on the claws of those, the feet of the shank. You can see the stamping design on the outside, stamping design on the inside. Castellated bezel made with the disc. 20 gauge bezel. Handmade bezel kind of ish. So yeah, guys, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. The next time you see this piece will be on its music video debut. Thank you so much, as always, guys. I hope this had value to you. If it did have value to your life, please subscribe, man. Come and hang out, man. We're always hanging out over here on the poor kid lunch table. You know what? I have 2 of those cheese sandwiches. You know, the square cheese sandwiches you loved in school? Oh, I have 2 of them. Oh, I had to trade somebody my chips, but it's whatever, guys. You guys can come and hang out with me anytime. My name is Benny. Boom Jewelry Designs. We're out here making our dreams come true. I'm out. Peace.